welcome back to my channel. So lovely to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to all my ongoing subscribers. I just love the fact that you're enjoying my channel, and thanks for all your messages. And welcome to all my new subscribers. I love seeing new people that are joining our community, and it gives me a great sense of joy to think that somebody out there that I haven't met before is now connected. And whenever I see those messages come up on my email to say someone new has subscribed, I always try to send some loving light to you and make a connection, because I do think that we're all very much connected, and it's a nice way to sort of know, how big our little community here on my channel is growing. So thank you. That's great. So today, what are we going to do? Okay, I've decided today to look at another video in the series, or make another video in the series, what I'm calling the heavy hitters. I just gave it that title because I was trying to think of what to call it. It's those cards that people, when they get in your reading, whether you yourself or maybe when you're doing a reading with somebody else, there's this sudden, trepidation, or this, oh gosh, what's this about, or a little bit of fear, or you'll feel that resistance come up in them. And as a reader, understanding that and relating to where that person's reaction is actually very helpful in you being able to connect in with them and work through with them, really understanding the opportunity and the value and the brilliant insight and wisdom that has come from this card. So today, which one have I chosen? Today I'm going to do my favorite, the Death card. Now, I love this card, but I appreciate that it's really challenging for some people. It can be scary, because, death is something that it's unavoidable. We're all going to face it. So it's a bit like that old saying, there's two things in life you can't avoid, death and taxes. Well, death is one of them. So what is it about the death? Well, yes, it's because it's that unknown. We haven't all had lots of practice dying, or let's just say if we have, perhaps we don't have the awareness of it. So in this particular life, we don't get to practice dying and seeing what it's like and getting over all our worries and fears. So this card brings up a lot of those insecurities. But in the tarot, this card is not talking about you dying or somebody dying. I mean, people are dying all the time. We don't know when somebody's going to die, do we? We don't know when we're going to die. We could step off, a road tomorrow, and unfortunately, terrible things can happen. And maybe that is the last day we're here. Who knows? But this card is about something else. It's about that process of dying. Because it's about the ego. It's all about the ego. It's a 13. So remember, 13. What's the 13? Well, the 13's a 1 and it's a 3 and it's combined a 4. The 4, we're talking about the Emperor. And look to see what right away have in this beautiful imagery have put. This is the Emperor. It's the Emperor's ego that has come to an end. What does it mean the ego's come to an end? Well, when the energy of the Death card comes around, it's highlighting us to us as something we're hanging on to that's not working for us. There's something we're resisting. There's a change that we are struggling with. The ego is wanting to hold firm. It's like, sometimes when we try and resist something, we hold our breath, we try and capture. The ego does a lot of things to try and prevent change. But change is essential. And that's why I love this card, because usually when a client comes to me, they don't come very often because everything in their life is just fantastic and they're feeling great and, everything's going wonderful and life couldn't be better. They usually come because they've bumped into a resistance or a challenge or an obstacle, or they're feeling uncertain, or they're not sure about something they want to do or something they want to implement, or to understand better about something. So it's to do with looking for where's that change that they're looking for. Usually we want change, but we also resist change because change is the unknown, just like the Death card. There's the unknown element. So look at this imagery. This beautiful white horse is telling you about purity. It's telling you about the essence, the thing that is really, really important in you. The part of you which will move forward when that bit of your ego goes away. It's like when you let go of that thing that isn't working for you, all that is important will still carry on. So often we fear that we'll lose everything. We don't. it's that we let go of the stuff that's not working, stuff we're hanging on to perhaps. The skeleton is reminding us that we don't get away from death. So this is the first card on the deck that really is looking at the change element relating to our personal life. So it is about the personal versus perhaps the Wheel of Fortune, which was looking at universal change, so environmental change around us. Change we can't control. This is the change within us, and that's where I think some of the challenge comes. Because it's the personal, people sometimes resist the personal. So, you know, we've got this beautiful white horse. We've also got these figures here. We've got the Hierophant, you know, who is realizing, you know, the Hierophant understands from that spiritual perspective that embracing this change process is where new life comes, is where we get to create something new. So a standing, but kind of, you know, looking at the imagery, sort of there, but you're quite solid, you know, very stiff, you know, still perhaps a little bit not too sure. The young maiden there is there. She's got a beautiful white outfit, so realizing she's bringing her best essence, her purity, but she's looking away. There's still an element of fear. There's still an element of, I'm not sure. Do I really want to let go of what I currently know and trust and have? This is the challenge, isn't it? The young child image here is because it's reminding us our children often embrace things. They just go for it. They don't worry about it. They don't bring that baggage. They're just there with innocence and purity. The young child is bringing a gift to the devil. Sorry, to death. Pardon. So it's that bringing of yourself, bringing and being as open as you can to the process is where the change will move forward into something new. I go back to the numbers here, the 3 here. The Empress is in this card. So those of you who love getting the Empress in your reading, here you have the 3. You have the life, you have the growth, you have the beauty of the Empress. It's a part of what comes through the death process. The Magician's also here. You've got the 1. That's a part of the ego too, though. Remember, the Magician is about creating and manifesting and using that connection to spirit to manifest something, which is then created into the beautiful Emperor, you know, the importance of the Emperor. But we get to a point in our evolution, in our life, into certain situations in our life, whether it be your money or your relationship or your health or your business or every part of your who you are and what you are and where you are. It goes through processes of change. If you're not changed, you're stagnant. If you're stagnant, well, then you really are dead. You know, there's nothing happening. It's like you're kind of stuck back with those cells that are just sort of, you know, always ending every day. You know, we don't all sit around and worry about the fact that our skin is constantly regenerating itself. You know, if it wasn't, we'd all be in terrible trouble. So as you look at this card, try and focus on what you can see in the card that can help you realize the positive potential of the growth, the development, the beauty, the insights that will come when you let the ego go, when you let go of the thing you're resisting or been holding on to. You know, look at this flag here. You know, the black is the absorption of all light. It is part of what the death card does. It removes that which is no longer needed. But the white flower is the beauty and the purity of the new. It is what is coming. It is what is there. And the white flower is far greater than the black around it. The white horse is very dramatic in this card. So look at that. I mean, really look to see what is that like for you. Look to see about what would it be like. Ask yourself, you know, what is it in my life that's wanting to end? What is ready to end? What is being perhaps wanting to be taken away from me? And is that because I really need to let that go? Ask yourself these questions. What's ready to shift and change? Where am I looking for growth? So if you are coming for a reading, or if you're doing your own reading, if you're pulling a card, And you're feeling there's somebody in your life, and you're saying, you're asking Spirit, I want something to change, or I need something to change, or where can this happen, or what can evolve, etc. Y, Z sort of thing. And you get this card, then say, yay, okay, it's coming. Now, in a reading, for those of you who always ask me the question, but what if this card is with something else? Okay, so let me have a look here. What have I got? Okay, so I've drawn a Cups card. So if the Death card's sitting next to this card, then what this card is doing is helping you understand the transformation or the evolution that this change is coming about. And here we're looking at, we're looking at Cups energy. So we're looking at things to do with our emotions. We're looking at the way we think and feel, and our compassion and our empathy. It's to do with a journey. It's to do with moving forward. It's like as we let go of something, perhaps an emotional attachment, perhaps some sort of grief we've been hanging on to. As we let it go, as we move forward, we have this opportunity for change in that part of our life. Or maybe it's to do with the Wands here. So I've drawn this beautiful 8 of Wands. Maybe it's something, this Death is relating to this change. So this Death is the ultimate personal change in this instant. And what can come, this beautiful Wands energy of fire and passion and growth and all the things that we want to stimulate in our life, to generate and bring about. And oh wow, like in a reading I'd be like so happy and excited for this client of mine who received this. Can you see that? Does this help you get a new perspective on how you perceive the energy of this card? Or what have we got here? A Pentacles card. Okay, we've got the 4 of Pentacles. So what's this the one talking to us about? Well, reminding us that this card, remember, is talking about the ego. It is talking about needing to let go. And if you resist that, if you try and hang on, and this card here, look how much work this is. They're juggling these 4 pentacles. They got 4 in the feet going around, and 1 in the hand, and 1 above the head. And man, that takes a lot of effort to maintain this status quo. So this is reminding you that if you resist this, then perhaps the change you're looking for might not come as you wish, or it might be quite difficult. Or the other way around, that when you do let this go, when you realize what this is about, then you get to move forward and something beautiful comes. Because the other thing about this horse is its movement, right? Because it's a horse, and horses love to move. In fact, you can actually see it's actually already in movement, in motion. So the wonderful thing about the tarot is all the parts of the imagery are very important. This beautiful rising sun, the breaking of the dawn, the evolution, the energy that is coming to you to manifest and create this new in your life, this beautiful river, this water element that's coming in here. The blessings of that. It's reminding of us of the flow and the energy that comes with that deep understanding and that release and all the purity that water brings. I mean, there's just so much that you can take, even just drawing this one card in a reading. What else I got? Oh, here, I've drawn the Wheel of Fortune. So if you get the 2 together here, you got 2 major change cards. The environmental change, this evolutionary constant movement. Everything's always in motion, always in movement. We might not realize it, but here it's bringing the personal into it. It's connecting these 2. It's this shift of identification, your personal identification. It's about the personality and part of that to do with the processes that we go through every day. And it's about bringing those 2 together, the ego and the evolutionary component into one. Oh, how fantastic, how wonderful. So this is a very spiritual card. This is a very much a card of new beginnings, of growth, of development. But it's also highlighting, for that to occur, we do need to shed that which we no longer need. New life cannot come if we're still hanging on to all of the old baggage. Is it mental baggage? Is it emotional baggage? Is it physical baggage? Are we completely cluttered with materialism? Are we completely fixed on materialism? Are we resistant to really letting go of the current job or the way we make money? So of course new openings aren't coming. Are we hanging on to this dysfunctional relationship? So of course we're not going to open up new relationships. Are we hanging on to the status quo of who we think we are and where we're at and those sort of things? Well, of course then new things aren't coming. So that is the essence of what this card wants to say, and it's why I personally love in a reading for myself and for a client to see it, because it gives me so much insight into the potential and opportunity that is there for this person who is wanting a reading, or for myself. And so if the person is ready to let go and to shed that which they are needs to be released, then the potential is immense. It's magnificent. It's wonderful. It's it's greater than probably they can ever imagine. The opportunity is like the sun rising, and its rays will go everywhere. The possibility is, it's more than you could possibly imagine. So I hope the next time you get this card in a reading for yourself or for someone else, you can feel uplifted. You can help them perhaps see how the resistance, the fear, the anxiety is relating to the ego, and perhaps the spirit or drawing this card is wanting to highlight for you that that's the bit that needs to shift if you truly want what is being offered or available to you. So thank you so much. I hope you found that useful. As you could see, we could talk all day about this. I hope you find this a bit of an added on from what I did in my first video a year or two ago on the death card. I've actually done all the major arcana on sort of a basic meaning and understanding. So if you go to that, if you haven't looked at that and you want more specifically on all the ins and outs of the intellectual meaning, what I'm trying to do in these particular videos now is to look a little bit about how I might use them in the reading, because people have asked me that, but also a little bit about take on that intellectual meaning and understanding, but remember you wanted it in your readings and giving readings, take it to the next level. You want to create a relationship with the card. You want to develop your own sense of knowing and understanding, follow your intuition, your own insights, and every time you look at the card, I find you will see something different, and trust that whatever jumps out at you with the imagery of that card, whether it be a reading for yourself or somebody else, that there's something about that imagery that really is significant to this particular situation, this particular question, this particular person, and that's the piece of the jewel or the gem that if you share that will really give great value to the reading and to the person that has asked the question, whether it be you or someone else. So thank you so much. Please, if you haven't, hit the thumbs up if you like this video. I really appreciate that. That kind of inspires me as I keep on going forward. If you haven't subscribed, you'll see the subscribe button. Also, I think it's over here. I always forget where it is. Send me any comments, messages. If you'd like a private reading, I am available, and I love doing private readings, and I will, whatever works with you, time zone wise, I'm sure we can fit something in. I do readings all for people all over the world. So thank you. And that's absolutely wonderful. It's just lovely to connect with different cultures and different parts of the world, as well as those of us who are in Australia, which is where I am. So thank you again, and have a fantastic day. Cheers. Bye.